afternoon and welcome to the Living Well program. You can find us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on KATB 89.3 in Anchorage as well as KJLP 88.9 in Palmer. You can also listen live online at katb.org. Also be sure to check out our Facebook page at Living Well Radio. And last but not least, please do download our podcast available on iTunes. Just look for Living Well.
Whew, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
We're in a lot of places. Have you checked them all out?
I have.
Have you?
It's still kind of surreal. Lots
I know.
of fun, though.
I still have to really look when I go to iTunes. I'm not real familiar with that. So I'm old.
What's a trip is going in to say goodnight to my youngest, and she's sitting there listening to us as she's falling asleep.
Are you saying that we put her to sleep? Is it?
Oh, that's it.
It's comforting. I think it's comforting to hear Mom's voice, and
That's right.
We'll look at it like that.
Well, thanks. I never quite looked at it that way, but I will now. Anyhow, as always, we're super excited to be back in the studio. Crazy weather outside, so I'm happy to be inside.
Crazy weather. Hey, guess what?
What?
I have, seeing as how it's just a few weeks till Christmas, but I have all my Christmas decorations up.
do you?
I do.
Very
and I didn't do
good.
any of it.
You
That's
didn't?
the best part.
Who did?
2 of my daughters.
Oh my gosh!
Just they happened to be at my house right after Thanksgiving, and they put them all up. My
Oh,
tree.
my goodness.
They decorated my mantle. They put out the village.
Oh,
Oh, how fun is that?
Yes, it looks beautiful. I think
they did a great job.
they did a great job.
There's nothing like just watching Christmas happen versus making
I'm
it
just
happen.
going to sit in my chair and just let it happen. Now, if I could
look
just
forward
get
to
them to do all my shopping and wrap the gifts, we'd be good.
Oh my
That's
gosh! I think wrapping is like my least favorite part of
Really?
Christmas shopping for sure. Yeah.
Oh I kind of wish. In fact, we should talk about this, like having a fundraiser for wrapping, because I love to wrap. I
do
just want
you?
an excuse to sit and wrap.
Gosh.
I would pay somebody to wrap my stuff.
I want.
I think I'm with
well,
you.
you probably
Yeah.
have somebody to do it for you. But if you need
I
somebody,
think I'm going to hire my granddaughters.
I'm free.
Yeah.
You're free? Free as in you won't charge me?
Right.
Or
I
available?
love wrapping.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you
Free as
good
in
at
the-
it? Because I don't like it, and I'm not good at it.
Really?
So-
Oh my goodness! There's nothing like a good, crisp-edged wrapped present.
Did you know I used to do that for a living?
Did you?
did?
Uh-huh.
Is that why you hate it?
Probably. Probably, yeah. Years ago, before I got married, I worked at Sears, and sometimes I would have to relieve in different departments. And so one of the departments I would have to relieve in would be the gift wrapping.
wrapping.
Really?
Oh, my gosh. I wrapped so many presents.
That probably has something to do with it.
Probably.
I just don't like it.
Do you like opening them?
I do. I do like opening. I like to watch them open them. I just could care less, I think, about the wrapping paper. I don't know. Even though I will say my mom we grew up on like these Ziploc Christmas bags. So like I know my mom hated them too. And so as a teenager,
It's
I would try and
hereditary.
rip holes in the bag, say, this is cheating. You can't rip Christmas presents like this, or you can't wrap Christmas presents like this. But now I'm like, oh, give me the Ziploc bags, please.
I've never heard of them.
Yes, they're like colored. You can't see through them. It's just like a Christmassy like Ziploc bag.
Wow.
I've never seen that.
Yes. Well, and she got really angry when we started to rip holes in them because she couldn't find them anymore. So, but that's a joke that we have growing up in our house. But I would give anything for those Ziploc bags now.
That's too funny. So speaking of Christmas, we've got some fun things coming up here at the Anchorage Baptist Temple.
Yes,
Tell us a
we
little
do.
bit about that, Betty.
Well, we have the Christmas pageant, which will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think that's the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th.
Yes, it sure is.
And on Friday and Saturday, the pageant starts at 7. And on Sunday, it starts at 6. However, if you have kids,
Come early.
come early. On Friday and Saturday at 6:15, the Winter Wonderland will begin. And on Saturday, it will begin at 5:15. And it's open to all kids. And the Winter Wonderland is the lobby will be decorated and set up with all the characters. Let's see if I can remember who's there. Rudolph will be there, Santa, Mrs. Claus, elves, a penguin. We have polar bears, black bears.
Is Olaf there? I feel
Olaf
like
will be
Olaf
there.
was there last
And
year.
a moose will be there.
I'm so glad they're going to have a moose.
And cookies. Lots and lots of cookies.
Yes, and and on top of all of that, there's going to be a live nativity scene. So
Oh, that's
that'll
new.
be, I know,
That's
that will
new.
be really neat. You can get pictures with actual actors from the pageant.
Yes.
So that's going to be fun, as well as with the characters. And as you mentioned, lots and lots of cookies.
That's
so
right.
come check out the cookie display. Bring your kids out to Winter Wonderland. Enjoy the pageant one of those 3 evenings. Really, there's no excuse not to make it.
And it's free.
Yeah.
And another good reason for coming early, you get to go through the Winter Wonderland, see all the characters, and have a cookie. Then you get a good seat.
You get a good seat.
Exactly.
That's right. You want to be up close they throw candy out for the kids, and they have the snow falling. It really is such a fun time for kids. And because it is free, I mean, you can't beat trying to do something that's Christmassy and focusing on the true reason of Christmas. Even though there's like lots of other Christmas stuff going on, it is about Jesus. And so that just makes it totally worth it to bring the kids to.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we as a church just want to love on you as our guests. So come take part and enjoy all these festivities we have going on.
That's right.
So in the meantime, though, we do want to welcome that voice that you're
That
hearing in
third
the
voice
studio.
that's hearing.
Yes.
But I've been quiet this whole time. I'm sorry.
No, we love it. But we just got to tell everybody who you are. Otherwise, they will be wondering.
Yes.
I bet a lot of them will recognize her laugh.
Oh,
They will
This
know
is
who she
true. This is true. I wish we were live. We could have them guess.
I know.
Our mystery guest.
that would be fun.
Anyhow, that is Nikki Jackson, no stranger to the studio. She's been in time or two, and always appreciate her coming in to share with us what 907 Moms has going on. Just another awesome ministry here at the Anchorage Baptist Temple that really reaches outside of the walls of the church into the community, ministering to the young moms that are really mom of any age and of kiddos. So tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
Yeah, well, that's a new thing that we have going on this year, is that we are moms of all ages now. So we are a moms group that just gets together, and we usually have like some sort of guest speaker, or we have a craft, or we have just a devotion, or just we have a game day. We had one day where we just did Minute to Win It games, and that was super fun.
I love those.
But you also did a Princess and Pirate Day.
We did a Princess and Pirate Day. That was the same day,
was
wasn't
it?
it? Yeah, I think so. Where we had both the kids and the moms dress up as princesses or pirates, their choice, just for fun, and that was on our game day. And we also had a meeting where we talked about marriage, which was super. I mean, I thought that was a great meeting where we got to chat about our marriages and ask our guest speakers questions about how do you deal with this situation? Or actually, I think we took questions the meeting before, and so they were just answering our questions that we had. So it's just really great, I feel like, to get together with other moms and I don't want to say commiserate, because that's not the word I'm looking for, but fellowship and just kind of like be in the trenches together, Yeah, so I guess you want to know what we have upcoming, like what's coming up?
Yes, please.
Well, we do have our Christmas meeting that's coming up here soon. But then after that, it's going to be the new year. We're going to start up the new year, and we're going to start talking, I think, right away about home organization, which goodness knows I need that in my life, because my life is a disaster. Which I think most young moms, I feel like that's a common theme, right? And so, so we're going to have the home organization. I think we're going to have, after that one, it's going to be a general panel, another one where we get questions, and we have usually some of our mentor moms, like Betty, actually answer our questions that we have posed the meeting before. And that's always really fun, because it's really insightful as to where our moms are currently at right now. Thank you.
I'm making her eat her microphone over there.
That's okay. And then I think after that, we're going to talk about love languages, which is really fun, because it's not only applicable, I think, to you and your spouse. I think it's also applicable to you and your kids.
Absolutely.
And so I'm excited to learn about that, because I feel like we've done it in years past and I missed it. So I'm really excited to learn about that one. So that's what we have upcoming.
Wow, very good. Good lineup of diversified events.
Yes.
There's always
to
good
learn
food.
about.
Lots of food.
Yes, hot coffee. Because, by the time moms
you have
ever
them
get to
right
eat,
there.
Yeah.
Hot coffee.
Well, and childcare.
Yes. Yes.
That's-
Can't forget about that. We have a great childcare team at this point that takes care of our kids for the 2 hours that we meet. And I feel like my week is so much better off when I know that I'm going to get a 2-hour break this coming Friday. Like, yay, I can get through the week.
Absolutely. Something to look forward
Yes,
to, huh?
For sure. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be a part of this community with these other moms.
Well, it's so, like I said, it's great because, when you are up in the middle of the night, like last night I was up at, 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning with a feverish baby, and you look over at your husband who you love dearly, but you're like, what good are you right now? Trying to feed this baby. But that you have these other moms, you have these friends that you've made that are probably up as well. And you can text them and say, hey, are you up right now? Are you in this with me? And, you just have this community of moms that you can reach out to. And, when I first had my daughter, I felt so alone. I mean, I thought it was going to be really bad when I had my son here in January because it's so dark and you felt so isolated. But no, it wasn't like that with him because I had these other moms. But when I had her, I didn't have it. I didn't have any close mom friends who I could reach out to. And so it was in July and it was beautiful and it was sunny. But when I was up at night, I just felt so alone. I felt so isolated and I had no one to talk to. And I was literally counting down the hours until the sun would rise again. And in the summertime, it's not that long. But, it felt so dark. And so this time around, having my second born has been so much easier and so much better because I have these other friends. I have these other moms to talk to and to get through. And like I said, we're all in the trenches together. So we're fighting the mommy battle.
Well, I have to say this about this group of women. They have a great leadership team. There's 12?
Yeah,
I
13,
on the team. And one of the things that I love about them when they have their meetings on, which is on Friday, the second and fourth Friday of every month.
Usually, yeah.
These moms on the leadership team, they always have somebody's baby.
Yes.
Always. It doesn't matter whose baby it is, but they're always helping out. Maybe a baby is crying and a mom's not able to calm it down. One of the moms will go say, you want me to hold her for a while? You want me to take her for a while?
Yep.
How about if I give you a break for a little bit?
Yep.
Constantly. They really care about these other women. They care about their children, and they do everything they can to make them have an enjoyable 2 hours.
Yes. Yep. Because if it's hard when you have those nursing babies that are still there in the meeting with you. It can be a challenge because you're trying to pay attention to whatever we're talking about, or listen to the guest speaker, and you just have a squirmy, wormy baby on your lap, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that other than there's lots of helping hands to take these babies just for even a few minutes. Let me just help you for a few minutes. And so that's what we're here to do as the leadership team. And Betty is one of those people who constantly takes babies.
Oh, they're so
one
sweet.
Of our mentor moms, and our mentor moms are so vital to this ministry. And I think just being able to see them on the other side of it and say, okay, there's light at the end of the tunnel, that we are going to make it through, that it's just so encouraging. And they have such great advice for us. And I feel like one of the pieces of advice that I have referred to so many times that you gave me, Betty, was that, the woman who offered her 2 cents. That sounds awful, but the 2 coins or the 2 cents, I just refer to that she gave all she had. And sometimes as a mom, it's just giving all you have doesn't seem like much, but it is literally all you have, all you can muster. The only bit of energy you can summon is, even attending these meetings or just loving on your children. And if that's all you can do to get through a day, love on your kids,
Oh, that time goes by so fast.
Right.
So fast. You just blink and they're grown and they're an adult. And they still need you, but not in the same way.
Right. Yeah.
Do you find, Nikki, that the moms have an age range of children, or are most of them younger, preschool years?
Not so much. I feel like, I guess we do have a younger age. I would say probably 5 or 6 and under at this point. Excuse me. But we do have a few that are homeschooled, that they will come with their older kids. We have a couple, I think like a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old that come every once in a while. And that's not to say that we don't welcome people with older kids, but just most of them are in school.
That's true.
And and even if your kids are in school and you just have a free afternoon or a free morning, like, join us anyway. Like, you're not excluded because you don't have young kids. We are not exclusive to preschoolers anymore. Yeah.
Very good. Good point. So you're the co-coordinator for 907 Moms.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you stumbled into that role.
Oh, how I stumbled into it?
Or maybe stumbled is the wrong word. However you arrived.
Well, like I said, the first year I started attending, at the time it was MOPS. The first year I started attending MOPS was because I felt so isolated and I needed friends. I needed moms to desperately talk to. And so it was that one year that I attended, and the next year I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And I joined the leadership team. And I started out as, I think, hospitality and as the hospitality coordinator and the crafts coordinator. And those were great roles. But then we started getting prayerfully thinking about the current coordinator said she was thinking about stepping down. And I was like, oh goodness, I felt the tug. God was like, Nikki, you got to do this. And I was like, do I really? And so I did. I trained under her for a year, maybe two. I don't know if she stayed with us for longer than she should have. Not should have, but that she had said that she wanted to go like a long time before. But so then I stepped up and trained with her, and then this is our first year without her.
It is.
This is our first year
but
without
she comes
her.
back sometimes as a helper.
Yeah.
As a mentor mom.
For sure. And it is helpful because she definitely picks up on things that I do not. So she is greatly missed, but this is our first year without her, and now it's me and another gal, Ashley, who is serving as co-coordinator as well.
So we're about halfway through the program. So just in case somebody can't stick with us for the whole half hour, Nikki, go ahead and tell us about how somebody could find you or find 907 Moms.
We have most of our information on Facebook at this point. It's facebook.com/907moms, and you can message us there, or we have contact information. I think it's the church number here that they will put you in touch with us there, and they usually will forward you straight to me. You'll talk to me probably directly, or we also have an email listed there, which is 907moms@ancbt.org. Yes. So that's our email, and so lots of ways to reach out. But mostly, I think Facebook is probably the most helpful, because then you can go on and you can see all of our upcoming events and things like that are coming too.
Yeah, very good.
And they're very good to post a lot of pictures, a lot of videos.
Yes.
I guess that's a good thing.
So
Do you
Betty,
want to see them?
you're a mentor mom for the 907 Moms. Tell me a little bit about that role. Thinking back to when you were a mom of your young children, how would this ministry have blessed you during those years? Or was there something like this for you?
There was not, as far as I know. I worked full time ever since my children were born. So I did not have a lot of free time. I was constantly busy. What would have helped would have been to have conversations with other moms. When my children were born, the church we were a part of was an older church. So my first daughter was the first baby born there in 10 years.
Really?
Oh, gosh.
So it would have been nice to have younger moms to talk to say, okay. Or when I had to give her first bath, and all I could do was cry because I didn't know how to do it. And, I'll never forget my husband said, well, of course you know. And I said, no, I don't.
And let's just be reminded you couldn't Google it.
I couldn't Google it. And he said,
no YouTube.
Isn't that funny to think about?
Well, he even said to me, well, when you would babysit. And I said, well, I never babysat. He said, you didn't babysit? I said, no. And so he was like, oh, my goodness, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to have someone to talk to about that. And then I was away from my mom, away from all my family. And so it would have been very comforting, very encouraging to do that, to have a group to be a part of.
So what do you find is kind of the topics of conversation? What do you find these younger moms needing?
Wow. It runs the whole gamut. Loneliness is one. Fear that they're not doing everything right. Someone just to listen to them, regardless of what it might be about. And sometimes they just want a mom, a mom figure to tell them that they're doing a good job. Somebody's going to be okay. You're going to make this. Even though you haven't had a shower for 3 days, there'll come a day when you'll have a shower every day. This is just a season of life, and they are going to get through it.
Yeah.
Very good. So what else can you add and tell us a little bit about 907 Moms?
Oh, gosh.
Well, Nikki Camu.
Either one. Which one?
We had a meeting several weeks ago. They do a lot of fun stuff, but they had a very, very serious meeting a couple of weeks ago with Rosalind. I think you might want to talk about that just a bit.
Yeah, that meeting was focused on infant and miscarriage, infant loss and miscarriage, and that one kind of blew me away because as we were preparing for that meeting, we had prayed over it, and I was hesitant. I was super hesitant because I was like, this is such a heavy, heavy topic, and I very much err on the side of let's keep things light and let's keep things fun. And, so I was hesitant to have this meeting. But then as we started promoting and kind of putting out, what did we call them? They were trigger alerts.
Yes.
Started putting out trigger alerts saying, hey, we're going to have this meeting. We're going to, this is the topic we're going to be discussing. It was just like a flood of people of commenting on like our posts and things saying, this needs to be talked about. We have to talk about this. I'm so glad you guys are having this meeting. And of how many women have gone through this, have lost, a baby or lost an infant, or when they're pregnant. And so it was huge. And the ladies were really, I think, impacted by it. And Rosalind had some great things to share. And it was so touching. And I think there were so many of us that were in tears at some point in that meeting. Just of some aspect that had affected all of us, whether we've experienced it or not. I feel like those of us who've had babies, it's just so hard to imagine the pain. But what Rosalind offered us was that how to help a friend through it. Like, what are some things you can do for that person? Like, offer to pick up their prescriptions because they don't want to go to the doctor, or they don't want to go to the pharmacy and pick up the prescription that makes it seem like they're aborting a baby, when that is not the case. They wanted the baby more than anything. But this is the medicine that's going to help their body finish what it's doing, the process. And so like helping them pick up the prescriptions, or, offering to get their mail because they keep getting all those free baby samples that keep coming in the mail. Like, how does your name even get on those lists that you're pregnant? And so those things can just be so hurtful when they show up and you're going through this very, very traumatic thing. And so that was really helpful for me as someone who's never gone through it, but I have friends who have, and you never know what to say. You never know if they want to be hugged on. You never know if they want to talk about it. And so Rosalind was at least able to offer her perspective on it. And I'm sure there are lots of other people who have things to say about it too. But that was a great meeting. It was. A great and like sad and like. It was
a very, very good meeting. Lots of good information. And I think a lot of women came away being helped. There was a lot of tears, like Nikki said, from women who had experienced this, but it was comforting to them to know that someone else had been through it. And it's a subject that nobody wants to talk about at all. A lot of people want to view it as they didn't lose a child. It was just another day. Right. And that's very hurtful to these women, because of these women, they've lost their baby, a baby that they very much wanted. But it was one of the top 10 meetings that we've had.
For sure.
It was very, very good. And there was another one that we had. I can't remember what it was titled, but I remember you put out something on Facebook. You asked the women a question when they looked in the mirror, and I can't remember what the question was.
When you look in the mirror, like, what do you see, or what is it that you don't like about yourself? And I feel like that went along with our theme for this year, which is through his eyes.
But we were all amazed at the responses. Amazed.
That, so many negative comments about themselves.
They were all negative.
They're all negative, and so that's what we're trying to focus on this year in general, is seeing ourselves through God's eyes. The Bible says that we're supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves, but if we don't love ourselves, how can we love our neighbor? So we have to start somewhere. We have to love ourselves. And so we're trying to focus on how God sees us. He sees us as beautiful. He sees us as a treasured, priceless person, that he created for a purpose. And so that's what we're trying to have, some sort of theme through every meeting that focuses on what God sees in us and through us and uses us for. And so it's like disheartening that so many women would think so negatively about themselves, but I get it. I totally get it. There's things that I don't like when I look in the mirror too. But I think trying to focus on what he sees is what we need to strive for. Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of women will mention the things that they don't like about themselves, but they almost layer it with humor. And so you never really see the pain that the woman's truly dealing with how they view themselves, because it's kind of wrapped in humor. And so you just kind of laugh with them because you can relate. But behind that is actually a lot of pain and a lot of insecurity
For sure.
that needs to have conversation around it. In fact, I think it was a book that Buddy and I were talking about on a prior show, Simple Tuesdays or Simply Tuesday, about having a safe place to be insecure as a woman. And we all kind of need to ask ourselves, do we have that? And so it kind of sounds like 907 Moms is serving that purpose just because of the community that you guys offer and that safe place to just come as you are and be a little insecure.
And be in a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many times when we have moments as moms where we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that to my kid. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe, moments where you're like, you take a step back after it's already happened and you're like, maybe that wasn't the best call. But you can come to 907 Moms and be like, oh my gosh, have you guys ever done this? Like, how do you recover from this? How do you come back from this? And I'm sure there'll be 4 other moms sitting at your table that have been like, girl, I've been there and I've done it. And here's what I did. And it's definitely, there's no judgment. There's no judgment allowed. And so, you definitely need that in your life as a mom, for sure. No judgment. You need to be you need to have the freedom to be insecure, like you said.
Well, yeah, because I think that's where, the healing process is going to begin, is when we can be honest about those insecurities versus just always hiding behind the humor in that, truly dealing with it and facing it and then being transformed through that.
Definitely.
So, very good.
When is the first meeting in January?
The first meeting in January is January 12th.
And it starts at what time and where is it at?
It starts at 10 a.m. in the VIP room here at the Anchorage Baptist Temple.
And tell us again how they can find you.
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/907moms, or you can email us at 907moms@ancbt.org.
I don't know what it is about those series of letters, but I struggle with them too. I always want to throw an H in there. So say it one more time for us, Betty.
Oh, no, not me.
907moms@ancbt.org.
Very good.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you so much, Nikki, as always, for coming on and just bringing your energy to the studio.
I love it. I love her laughter,
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And that is another Living Well program. And you can find us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on KATB 89.3 in Anchorage, as well as KJLP 88.9 in Palmer. You can also listen live online at katb.org. We appreciate you joining us this Wednesday, and please do tune in again next Wednesday.